boy, do we have an epic episode today, Podsters. I am bringing back Elisa Ellis. She is a wardrobe stylist, a speaker, a author, and I like to refer to her really as a style coach. And we're talking about a few things today. We're going to talk about how your style can be a competitive advantage. And if you don't have any style, or if you think you don't have any style, don't worry about it. We cover that. We talk about how your brand never sleeps, how you can manage a style on a budget with some really great options. We talk about dressing as self-care, which is really interesting. We talk about what Elisa likes to call your ABCs: authentic, on brand, and confident. And you can show up authentic, on brand, and confident with a few little tweaks. We talk about image breakers and image makers. And then we get into how she finally brought this book across the finish line, and how after months and months and months of talking about it, thinking about it, giving herself all the reason why she couldn't do it, she finally did the thing. We talk about the brass tacks and the tactics on how she did it. So Podsters, this one is a treat for you. This is the last of the new year, new you energy. This is everything you need to know if you want to tweak your style a little bit, close on more business, get the job, show up authentically, have some fun, and really just be awesome. So buckle up, Podsters.
Are you ready to speak up, stand out, and get your seat at the table? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to Unmute Yourself, the podcast where you'll get real-life anecdotes and actionable tools for you to step into your strengths, debunk imposter syndrome, truly know your worth, and show up like you own the room every time. I'm your host, Nancy Medoff, who did the thing and followed my passion for empowering women like you to unleash that inner spark and become who you know you are meant to be. I'm a diehard foodie with a raging Skittles habit who will not stop until women everywhere unmute themselves and truly thrive at work, at home, or wherever you may be. Let's do this.
Podsters, before we dive in, I want to make sure that each and every one of you is aware of a very, very special coaching package that I'm offering only for the month of February. Here's what this is. In honor of Galentine's Day and women supporting women and really stepping in to your best life so that you really can thrive in 2025, I'm doing a very, very limited time, super condensed, highly intensive coaching package to get you unstuck and moving in the direction that you want to go. So here's what you get. 3 power-packed 1-hour coaching sessions. So this is three coaching sessions, one-on-one private with me. You also get unlimited support in between sessions because we can't accomplish everything we want to accomplish in that 1 hour. We cover a lot. You're going to want to think. You're going to want to do some research. You're going to want to come back. You're going to want to make decisions. And I'm here for you in between those sessions. There is no long-term commitment. Usually I have a 12-week minimum. I'm waiving this minimum, and I'm offering these sessions and this package at 60% off of my regular coaching fees. Only the month of February, only for people who have the link, which I am putting into the show notes, and only if you're ready to really dive in and do the thing. So what do you say, Podsters? Who's with me? The link is in the show notes, and I hope to see you soon. Podsters, we have a treat for you today. I have brought back Elisa Ellis, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. But here's the scoop, Podsters. You first met her probably about a year ago, maybe a little less. And this is the last of the New Year, New Me themed podcasts we will be doing, because I believe that you are continuously on a journey to improve, evaluate your goals, all those things. I also personally, twice a year, take a look at where I'm at and take stock, once in January and once in July, which is my birthday, by the way. And then, so tell the Podsters who may not know you yet and who will, tell us what you do.
I am a wardrobe stylist and I work with clients one-on-one. And I also work with businesses. I help them with their teams who are not showing up dressed appropriately. And I say what HR can't.
That cracks me up. So I'm going to say that again. Elisa says what HR can't. So when you have people on your team that are wearing Crocs in the office and it is a professional environment, like listen, you work at a pool? Okay. You work for a high tech startup? Maybe. If you're seeing clients, were you the one telling me the story about someone wearing Crocs to go see a client?
I've heard lots of stories.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Okay.
surprise me.
So if you are an HR person listening, you can hire Elisa to come and train your team or to come talk to your team and tell them why your style is your competitive advantage. So how did you land in this? This is a very niche what you do. How'd you land here? Like, how'd you end up here?
So I left corporate. I was looking for something to do because, I had kids still in school, and finding a job where you could, go in at 9:30 and leave at 2 or whatever that looked like back then was non-existent. So I became a rep for a jewelry company, and a lot of my clients wanted to know how to wear, this with this and how to put this together. And one day I was helping my girlfriend clean out her closet, and she said, "You should just do this. You're really good at this. You should just do this." And so I did. I started my business, and I've been doing it ever since. And it just kept evolving and changing. It started off my friends who were going through 20 plus year divorces. I helped them recreate a business professional, business casual wardrobe because they didn't know what that looked like. They'd been out of the workforce. And then it went into entrepreneurs and then women leaders. And then the pandemic hit, and companies were like, "Help. We have team members who are showing up in Uggs and slippers and leggings, and I don't know what to say to them or how to say it." And it just kept going. So here I am.
I love it. You just said something that I want to make sure, Podsters, that you take note of. When somebody says to you, you really should do this, you should listen because they see maybe what you can't, right? It probably never occurred to you, I can make a living doing this. And we are here to tell you today that when you step into your strengths and you are truly authentic and you do what you love to do every single day, there's no looking back, right? Did you ever think this would be available to you, that you get to do this all day?
No, no. And my dad still says to me, like, "I still can't believe you're doing this. Like, what, like, where'd that come from?" I'm like, "I
Right.
don't know, but I'm really grateful to my comadre and I thanked her in the book because without her, this would not be."
That's awesome. So you casually just dropped a little nugget. You want to tell us about your book? Did you write a book?
Yeah, look, I wrote a book.
I
I'm so
love,
excited.
love.
I love it. It's still a little odd, weird, I don't know, different, but exciting and fun all at the same time.
Love it. So, Podsters, the name of Elisa's book, because it was just released like 3 days ago, so she's not used to this yet, is The Style Advantage. I Say What HR Can't. And this is, I know this book intimately, and we'll get into that. We'll get into the reason why a little later. So, this is a combination of personal style tips, confidence tactics through your style. It's a handbook for HR. If I owned a large company, I would give everybody this book. There's no question. There's research, there's data, there's anecdotes, there's ideas, there's strategies. This is the best thing ever. So we're going to link to it on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, and we're going to talk about the process of how Elisa finally wrote this book, which she was talking about for a very long time. But before we do that, I want to get into what's in the book. So you and I talked about this quite a bit. And there were so many aha moments when I spoke with you. This was a long time ago. And I'm going to share a couple of my stories as you're talking because they're real stories. So tell me about your brand Never Sleeps.
So, I'm always talking to people about how you show up matters. And last year I went to this luncheon with the president of D Magazine. Her name is Julia Allison. And she said in her presentation, "Your brand never sleeps." And I thought, "Oh, that's it. That's it." She said, "It's from the time you wake up and you leave the house and walk your dog and get your coffee and drop off your kids to the time you go home. It's not just your LinkedIn profile. It's not just the picture you put up on Facebook or wherever. It's not your office corporate headshot. It's how you're showing up every day, especially now because our lives are so much different. And it hit me, and I thought, that's exactly what I've been talking about. But she just said it so eloquently. I was like, that's it. And it's so important because we think, oh, I'll just have my work clothes and I'll have my workout clothes and I'll have these clothes. But really, we need clothes that fit our life and our lifestyle.
Totally. And I want to make sure we're really clear because the last time you came on, I'm going to link to the last episode as well. But we talked about, we're not talking about a Prada bag and Louboutin shoes. It could be
No.
sneakers and a signature color. It could be,
Yes.
a necklace, whatever. And I think, by the way, is the story in the book about the woman in orange, is that about me in pink or is it really about somebody in orange?
No, it's really about somebody in orange.
Okay, so here's why I'm asking because I was reading the story about this woman. She always has a pop of orange as part of her brand.
Yes.
And you all know I always have a pop of pink. And just last night, a new colleague of mine, I sent her something. It was totally unrelated to work. And she said, I can't look at hot pink and not think of you. She said, excellent branding. So it's really, it works. It works. Okay,
Yes.
so I'll get my ego out of the way, and I guess I'll believe you that this person who wears orange, which I love, by the way.
But I quoted you and talked about you in the book.
You did. You did. So, all right. So tell us the story about the woman in orange because it's a great example.
So she's a client of mine. She went from corporate to becoming an entrepreneur, and we kind of redid her style. She used to wear dresses and heels every day. She doesn't want to wear that. She's a busy mom. She works with clients across the US. So she loves orange. It's part of her branding. She wears a bracelet. She found a pair of sneakers while she was on vacation. She's not showing up in a bright orange suit. She wears a pair of earrings that have, like there's just always something a little bit orange. And when she went to see a client, he said, kind of like your friend, I always wonder what you're going to wear that's orange. He knows that she wears orange and he picked up on that. So now he's always thinking of her. That's what you want, right? You want people thinking of you when you're not in the room.
Exactly. Did she come up with the orange idea or did you come up with it? Like, how did that evolve?
I think it just happened naturally for her. She just loved orange. And so when we talked about going through her clothes and her style, it just was a repetitive thing. So it's something she loves. It makes her happy. And it's natural. It's authentic to her.
Yep. The reason why I ask is because I had no idea. And I will never forget, shout out to Robin, who helped me with my initial branding 5 years ago. My book there's a lot of pink in it. And she said, do you, you should always have something like a scarf or a bracelet or whatever. And I went overboard and I got all kinds of pink suits, pink dresses, all those things. Even now, if I show up like in a black turtleneck, I'll have a pink bracelet. And when I show up and I'm not wearing pink, people say something. They're like, "Where's your pink? Where's your pink? Where's your pink?"
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's true. So the other reason why I want to talk about your brand never sleeps, and I can't remember if I told you the story. I think I probably did about when I was on the plane going to Vegas. Did I tell you this?
Yeah, I think so. And there were people there and you did not look appropriate.
Yeah. So it was when I was talking to Elisa, and this was, not that long ago, Podsters. So if I haven't in before before Lisa, if I was getting on a plane, so I was going to Vegas, it was this was before I was out on my own. I was working for a company. And it was a very early morning flight. And I looked like a schledink, I think is the term I used, right? I just, I had on leggings and a sweatshirt, which is fine, but it wasn't professional. And I bumped into my new boss and my new boss's boss on the plane. Like, who would have thought? Because I was connecting through their town. I was on a client call in Mexico. I was going from Boston to Dallas to Mexico. And, that's a lot of changes. It's a lot of travel. I wanted to be comfortable. We landed. They said, we're going right to the client site. So your brand never sleeps and you need to, well, let me rephrase. You want to always feel like you are showing up well, whatever that means for the situation, right? How would you change
Absolutely.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say just one quick thing. You said you wanted to be comfortable. There's so many options today that are elevated. You can create an elevated look and still be comfortable. There's all kinds of new fabrics, new styles that allow you to show up on brand with confidence in pieces that are authentic, and you can still be comfortable and look appropriate for whatever you want to look appropriate. If you walk into your boss, if you have to go straight to a meeting, if you, it's about having the right clothes in your closet that fit your life and lifestyle.
The right clothes in your closet that fit your life and your lifestyle. I love that. It's about having the right clothes in your closet that fit your life and your lifestyle. Right. So I was I was always on brand except when I was on planes. This is recently now. This is a few months. This is like last year. And Elisa said, "Well, why wouldn't you wear some pink on the plane?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like what?" So I went out and got a long pink duster cardigan, super comfy, super yummy. I can snuggle up in it on the plane. And if and when I see someone or someone that's a potential client, I'm on brand.
Yep,
Easy. Yep.
absolutely.
My pink Puma sneakers, right? So say that again, what you said. It's about having the right clothes in your closet.
That fit your life and your lifestyle.
Okay. So, and by the way, since you're on the topic, I'm not, I know you don't want to call it a specific brand, but there is a brand out there that's been doing some clothes, two brands actually. I'm going to say it Athleta and Spanx, both doing clothes for travel. That's it,
Yes.
right? In theory.
Yeah.
And you can look polished. I mean, I have two pairs
Yeah.
of those Spanx Air Essentials. By the way, they're not like the super tight ones. They're just comfortable, but they're polished. I can wear them with a jazzy sneaker and a jazzy hoodie, and I am good to go. And
Right.
okay. Which leads us into confidence because when I wear my plain clothes that are nicer, I show up differently. So talk about that. Talk about how what you're wearing impacts your confidence.
It's a huge thing. I even quoted you in the book. Confidence impacts outcomes, right? I just got a text from somebody this morning, a colleague that's reading my book, and he said, I had to go change into better clothes for my work from home day. And I love hearing that because there's actual research that shows that what you wear has an impact not only on how you think, but on your negotiations, your sales, all the things. And so while you might want to just be comfy because you're at home and no one's seeing you, that's twofold. So why wouldn't you dress up for you? This idea that, well, I'm not going anywhere. I only dress up if I'm going to the office, or I only dress up if I'm doing X. Well, why wouldn't you dress up for you? It can be a part of your self-care, and it directly impacts your collaboration, your negotiation, your productivity, all the things.
Okay, so I'm taking furious notes here. A couple of things. You said dress up. I'm thinking dress, period. So,
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't mean dress up. I mean,
right.
wear something besides your leggings and sweats. It's not about wearing a suit. It's about putting on a, like, when I give a presentation, I ask people, do you have a power outfit or a power suit that you are going to wear when you want to have an impact, when you have a proposal, you're meeting with a new client, whatever it is? And people always answer yes. I mean, 99% of the time. Okay, now, how often do you put that outfit on or an outfit like it? Well, then the numbers drastically go down to hardly anybody. Well, why wouldn't you want to feel that way every day? And it's not about putting on a suit, it's about putting on an outfit. Again, going back to having clothes that fit your life and your lifestyle that you feel fantastic in. Like, I love red. I know if I put on red, it's just going to make me feel better. It's a pop of color. It's going to change my day versus putting on a pair of sweats that are kind of blah and I feel blah in.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I'm not going to get into too much detail here, but yes, I agree. And I find that if I'm in like a slump, if there's like a couple of weeks where I'm just like blah, almost every time I'm walking around in my skids, I call it, until like 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock if I'm working from home. I'm like, no, no, no. Just put on some joggers and show up the way you want to show up. Anyway, you also said, let's talk about dressing as self care. I
Yes.
love that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
tell us
because we
more.
don't put ourselves on the list. I give this example all the time. As women, especially, our kids need something, our parents, our friends, we will go out and buy it and won't think twice about it. But when it comes time to buy a new bra or replace the jeans or the top, whatever it is, it's like, oh, no, I have something in my closet. I don't need that. But what if you getting up and getting dressed was a mood shift, a game changer in your life and business, right? So why wouldn't you do that for yourself? And it doesn't mean you have to go spend a lot of money.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because I just wrote down. So let's be a little specific. So you can get great stuff at Target. You can get great stuff at H&M. Like, are there any other kind of lower cost?
Sure. I shop at J. Crew Factory, Banana Republic Factory.
Yep.
You can
Yep.
find things at
Yep.
Nordstrom Rack. I mean,
Yep.
there's a
Love
multitude of
it.
stores that you can find things
Mhm.
at lower costs that
The
still
other thing,
have decent quality.
lower cost, decent quality. Thank you. Sorry, I interrupted you. The other thing I do is if I see something I love and it's not really a must have, I'll wait and I'll trace it out. And I'll be like, I just bought a whole bunch of sweaters from off Fifth, from Saks off Fifth.
Right.
They're all on sale. They were on sale and then they're 30% off. So the sweater that cost $350 is now $49.
Right. And I give strategies like that in the book. I talk about, sign up for email lists, put a heart, or sometimes you can quote unquote save the things you like and they'll let you know when the item goes on
Mhm.
sale.
Yep.
And if it's a brand that fits, you might be able to get it at a resale store or, when it goes on sale or whatever it is.
Yes. Love it. Talk to us about image breakers and image makers. Aha! I stumped you on that. You didn't know I was going to ask you about that.
There is a lot of discussion right now in companies about what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. One of the
Okay.
biggest questions is what types of sneakers? Are sneakers allowed? Do we not allow sneakers? Do we allow jeans? No jeans? All the things. And the reality is it could be really basic. If things are pulling too tight, if you're showing too tight, too short, there's appropriate and there's inappropriate depending on your situation. And I'm going to make you giggle, but like I've heard stories about men wearing their shirts unbuttoned, like we're going back to the Bee Gees,
Right.
Staying Alive days.
Yeah. Danny Terrio. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the same is true for women, but there's a time and a place for that, but it's not necessarily in the office or when you're client facing. There's rules and guidelines depending on the company,
Yep.
and you should be aware of those.
And even if you work for yourself, you need
Right.
to really think about it.
Well, the big thing that's really a little thing is when you pay attention to your own details, that's a reflection of how you are going to pay attention to somebody else's details, right? Whether you're an entrepreneur, in corporate, in finance, a lawyer, whatever that is, if you're not paying attention to how you're showing up, how can the client feel comfortable and confident that you're going to pay attention to their details? That's how I see image makers and image breakers.
I love it. I love it. What if I feel like I'm firing the questions at you, although it is a podcast interview? What if I don't know my style? Like, what would you say? By the way, Podsters, I do not send questions to my guests ahead of time because I want everything to be 100% authentic. And we're going to get into that authenticity in a minute. But so Elisa has no idea these are coming. So what if I don't know my style? What if my kids, my kids are now 12 and 14. I can lean back into my career. I don't even know where to start because all I've been wearing is sweatpants and Keds for.
Sure. Sure. And I talk about this in the book. Figure out what's important to you. What do you like? Color? Do you like fun shoes? And if you don't know where to start, go to Pinterest, go old school, pick out some magazines, cut out some looks that you like.
Mhm.
I know a lot of women I know go to Pinterest and they're like, well, I kind of like this outfit. I kind of like the top half or the bottom half of this outfit. You can do the same. Could be Pinterest catalogs that you get mailed to you or even go to a store, whatever that looks like. And you have to start trying things on because here's the thing. As a wardrobe stylist, I can tell people you would look fantastic in that. But if they don't feel fantastic in it, and this goes back to the confidence and being authentic, you're not going to show up looking amazing. You're going to be small. And like years ago, a woman told me, if you want to be a speaker, you have to wear a sheath dress, wear 3-inch heels and nylons.
And pearls.
Well, it's going to, Yeah, it's going to be a cold day in hell before I wear nylons again. It's just not going to happen.
Not
And
happen. Yep.
I'll wear a dress, yes, but I'm not wearing heel. It's just that's not authentic to me. And so you have to find what works for you and your lifestyle. Like the client, she was wearing nothing but dresses and heels. That didn't work for her life and her lifestyle.
Mhm.
So we changed things up, and she had some jeans, some comfortable pants, some blazers, bright colored tops that worked for her. That worked for her life and lifestyle. So figure out what that looks like for you and then start trying things on. And you have to be willing to try multiple sizes and multiple brands. I mean,
Mhm.
look, I just went to a store yesterday. I posted in my stories. It's a brand I know and love. I tried on a large in one jacket and it was way too big and the medium was too small. I tried on a different jacket. The extra large was way too big. The large was too small. Same store, same brand. Neither of them worked. But I found a dress that was fabulous. So you have to be willing to try a couple of different sizes because there's no sizing standards anymore.
Have fun with it, because if you go in grinding your teeth and I'm gonna find, it's when I'm not
Right.
looking for anything that I find the best things.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to order online
I
to
don't.
get the best selection because stores don't carry the same selection in the store anymore.
Mhm. Agreed. So when Pinterest first came out, how many years ago was that? 2015, a long time ago.
Yeah.
I started this little board called My Style, and it's where I pin stuff I like. If you look at that board, it is 100% what I wear now. You subconsciously file these things away, you get used to them. So then when you see them, you're like, oh yeah, I identify with this. I just think it's
Right.
really interesting. It's my wedding dress was all stuff, things that I had pinned on Pinterest. It's you gravitate towards this, you file it away, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is like if I look at it now, it's all my clothes.
So I want to say one little thing about that. Your style can change and it's
Yes.
okay. And you
Sure.
have to give yourself permission to be willing to let go of the stuff that's not working for you in your closet because that's not who you are anymore. Like my life looks very different now as an empty nester than it did when I had kids in high school, going to college, driving them to all their games, their activities. I can wear white now. I never wore white when I had two boys in the house. It just wasn't going to happen. And it can be a mix of styles. You don't have to pick just one. You get to decide.
I think that's fantastic. And I have been mourning my old style because I was the 4.5 inch heel, like do
Mm,
it. And recently when I'm on stage, I always wear, and this is interesting. I always wear super high heels. They're platform and they're, sturdy because I feel like a boss and they give me instant confidence, instant
there
confidence.
you go.
When I wear sneakers, I slouch a little bit. I'm kind of like, oh, I'm in relax mode. So I can't do that on stage. I remembered what I was going to say. Ready? You were talking about
Okay.
jeans. So, and I think I mentioned this in our last podcast. I remember when I was working for a very large company, our CEO showed up at a client event. It was all our best clients. It's like probably 500 people. And he was the speaker. And God bless him, he showed up in jeans and a shirt. And I was like, oh, okay,
Okay.
great. This was a long time ago. This was at least 10 years ago, at least. And I remember thinking to myself, if the CEO can show up in jeans, he projected confidence. You knew he knew what he
Right.
was talking about. He was like, no, this is who I am, which leads into authenticity. So
Right.
tell me about your ABC theory.
I really believe that style doesn't have to be complicated. It can be about showing up authentically on brand and with confidence. It doesn't have to be about high fashion, wearing trends, about finding what fits you and your life and your lifestyle.
Look at Mel Robbins. She wears Converse sneakers.
Right. That's her thing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she now has big, bold glasses, the black ones. Have you seen those?
Mm-hmm.
And that looks different for everybody, right? I know women who love dresses. That's all they want to wear. I know women who love pants. That's all they want to wear. I have some clients who wear it all. It's about finding what fits you. And that's really what it's about. And so that you can show up consistently, right? Because if someone tells you wear X, but it's not really comfortable for you and it doesn't work for you, you're not going to wear it. And then you're going to show up potentially looking like a hot mess.
No one wants to look like a hot mess. So
No.
when we were talking, you gave an example. I can't remember if it's in the book or not. Can you hold up the book, by the way? Because I want the Podsters to see your book.
Yes.
Style Advantage, available on Amazon. So what if, I think you told me a story about a woman in a sweatshirt. Like, what if my style is sweatshirts?
I did tell you a story about a gal. I had a professional who said they worked with $1 million clients meet me for a networking coffee, and she showed up in a sweatshirt and, talked about how she worked with $1 million clients and this was her ideal client and all about her business. Okay, great. But I'm never going to refer you because you knew full well what I did for a living, what I do for a living, and you thought showing up in a sweatshirt talking about your $1 million clients was appropriate. If I have a choice between someone who looks professional and is paying attention to their details and someone wearing a sweatshirt, and this was in a financial capacity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's needed, where you need to be paying attention to details, I'm going to choose the person dressed professionally. And look, there are people out there, I am sure, who will pick the person in the sweatshirt because they know her, they have experience with her. Awesome. But not me. And really, that's what the whole book is about, right? Like, you could be doing your thing and going along fabulously. But I believe if you are trying to get to the next level, your style can give you an advantage. It has impact in every part of your life.
It does. And I want to talk about I want to talk about the sweatshirt for a minute, and then I want to talk about your personal life. Not your personal life, but one's personal life. I am like wired today. So when you were talking about the sweatshirt, I also think there's a difference. So you can show up in, I could show up in my Cape Cod Truro Vineyards sweatshirt, oversized, blah, blah, blah. First of all, if I were to do that, I would be in like relax mode, and I don't want to be in relax mode when I'm meeting a client. Or I could find, and they're out there now, super cute, comfortable hoodies, like crop hoodies, or I have a ton of cashmere hoodies. I love sweatshirts. So if I show up in a hot cashmere hoodie, right?
This wasn't a cashmere sweatshirt. This was like old, dated, yucky sweatshirt.
Right. Yep.
But
Yes. Okay. So all right. So let's talk about your personal life, because this was really interesting. So I know a lot of women who in the past, before COVID, were either 4.5-inch heels ready to go or leggings and flip-flops. Don't get me out of the house. That has blended. We now have athleisure. We have, work from home, all of those things. And what I've found is probably in the past couple of years, I've been paying more attention to more my personal, because my professional style, that's my style. Like, I have it, I know it, it's just ingrained. And my personal style is what has evolved. And that's been super fun. And I think it has made me more approachable. It has made me more fun. I have made more friends. I just feel better. Like, I just feel better. And it's not, I just got this new $400 belt. I look cute and I'm going to be fun and have a great time when I go out, rather than I just pulled out my old Cape Cod Truro Vineyard sweatshirt and I'm going to go to dinner, but I'm going to feel like a schlittig the whole time.
Well, and you just said it multiple times, fun. You're now having fun with it. And what I have found 99% of the time is if someone's telling me, well, I don't need to dress up, I'm fine, it's more than likely they don't have clothes in their closet that they like and that are fun for them. They don't want to wear those clothes. And so the default is the leggings, the flip-flops, the sweats, because it's too complicated. They don't have clothes that fit their life and lifestyle, but you're having fun with it. And that's really what it's supposed to be. Instead of being like, I have nothing to wear, I already wore that. This is fun. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to feel great in it. I love the way I look in this. That's what it's about.
One more question before we get into the actual process.
Okay.
Ready? Joggers. friend or foe?
I'm not a fan of joggers. And I will be honest, I'm going to say it depends on how you're wearing them. I actually I did an Instagram post. I found the brand called Varley, Varley. It's an athleisure soft. And I realized over Christmas.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah.
Because I meant to say this before. If you are not following Elisa on Instagram, every morning she has stories, literally her in her closet, putting clothes on. And you see the transition. What's your Instagram handle so that people can write it down?
Oh, at stylish curvy girl.
Stylish curvy girl on Instagram.
Yep.
Are you TikTok? You're on
Right.
TikTok?
No.
Oh, good. So they're great because not only does she show you all the outfits she's trying on, she links to them. If you like them, you can go buy it free. Well, you're not buying it free, but you're getting the style advice
Right.
for free. Okay, please continue. So the Varley joggers.
Right. So I realized over Christmas that we had company come to the house, and I don't wear athleisure wear, but I had nothing. I either had to get up and get dressed in my full thing, or I had pajamas, which I wasn't going to wear with friends and family visiting. So I went out and bought this brand of athleisure wear. But here's the thing. It's nice. It's comfortable. Could I wear it outside? Yes. That's not authentic to me. I would feel like, as you say, a schladink. But I do wear the half zip sweatshirt, right? I can wear that with jeans. I can throw it under a blazer. I can zhuzh it up with some jewelry, and I feel put together. And that's about as casual as I can get. But having said that, I know there are women who wear joggers, and they, like you did, they put the cute sneakers and they put a nice cardigan, and it's how you put the outfit together and how you feel in it.
I look pretty cute in my joggers, I'm just going to say. I do.
Okay. There you go.
They have really cool silk. They have satiny ones now, like the satin cargo joggers. You can wear them with heels or
Sure.
something.
See, that's different than
Right.
sweats, right? When you say joggers, I immediately think of sweats. I think you can do better than that. If you're wearing some satin fun, yes, absolutely. But it's fun for you. Absolutely do that.
Yep. Okay. So you and I had a long discussion over voice text recently I asked Elisa, do you call yourself a style coach and why not? The reason why I asked this is because this is really cool, Podsters. So can I tell the New Year's Eve story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had an event. Was it New Year's Eve? I don't know, whatever. I had a party around New Year's.
Yeah.
And I really wanted something fresh. So I just said to Elisa, listen, I want something fresh, little bit of bling. I'm on the outer Cape. Like, it's not like I can show up in a super bougie outfit. I don't know what to do. So unbeknownst to me, about 2 hours later in my inbox was a style board. What's it called? Style board?
Look board. Yeah.
Look board.
Style
Thank you.
board.
Look board where she had all these things cut and pasted and the links to them. So I was like, whoa. High end, mid, low, wear it with this, wear it with that, Amazon, Anthropology, and it worked. So imagine, Podsters, you have somebody where you can say, okay, I'd like something a little blingy. Here's my style. I want to be able to wear it to a party. Go. And then they go and do all that for you and deliver it to your inbox. Like that to me is a style coach. That's like, I didn't know, like I wouldn't have known and I never would have worn that on my own. Never in a million years would I have picked up that outfit. And it was pretty
But
cute.
it worked. And you looked fabulous.
I looked great. So but if you were to say to me, wardrobe stylist, I would say, well, I don't need all that. I just need somebody to give me advice from time to time. I did it again with I need some new aviators. Where can I find good aviators? It's like a style consultant, really. Which
I'm trying to save my clients time and make it easy for them.
You do. It's really remarkable. So, and for those of you who are starting to speak more on stage, I will tell you right now, you do not need a new outfit for every speaking engagement, by the way. I used to think I couldn't wear the same outfit twice, but I can. And you are going to run out of ideas. There's only, take me, there's only so many pink suits I can wear. So I need other ideas. And that's why you need somebody to say, no, this is what I do. I got this. And somebody to say, that runs large, that runs small. That's not great quality. Think about how much time you would save.
That's a big thing these days is that runs. I mean, look at the store I just went into, right? A store that I go to all the time. But even within that one store, some pieces ran big, some ran small. And unless you're shopping on a regular basis and knows what fits you, it can be challenging to find things. Because you go into the store thinking, okay, I'm a size 8, I'm a size 10, I'm a size 12, whatever it is. You try something on and it doesn't work. And then you leave feeling frustrated because it's like, well, did I gain weight? What happened? And it's not you, it's
Yep.
the
Yep.
store or the brand.
Yeah. I know. I lied. One more question. What do you think is the biggest obstacle people, because you style men too, face when it comes to understanding that your brand never sleeps? Like, what do you think is the biggest obstacle people have to really investing in this? Their energy, their time, their money, all the things.
I think they don't realize how it can impact them, right?
Mhm.
Like you and I have talked about when we were talking about the book. I don't want to stand out. Okay. You don't want to stand out, but do you want to be remembered when the client needs somebody? Do you want to be remembered when it's review time, when it's promotion time? Okay. Well, of course. Yes. And then how do you make that happen? Right? It's
Mhm.
just not knowing what you don't know. That's
Mhm.
one of the biggest obstacles, I'm going to
I
say.
would agree. I would agree. Like my 2-word summary of that is why bother? Well, here's why you should bother.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even if you're a mom and you're listening to this, and we have a lot of moms that listen to this, you're running to the grocery store. Again, we're not saying dress up in Versace, but we're saying
Right.
just feel good about yourself.
Right. Absolutely.
So tell us about you wrote this book. So why did you want to write the book in the first place? Let's start with that.
I have thought about writing a book for the last year, and I just know it can really have an impact on people more so than me just putting things on LinkedIn. And I keep hearing from people that after hearing me talk about showing up on brand and with confidence and authentically, it makes an impact in their lives. And so the best way to do that then is to write a book. And because you pushed me and
You're welcome.
encouraged me
Mm,
and helped me along the way. Because
mhm.
honestly, sometimes, that imposter syndrome comes up and you're like, can I really do this? Am I the person? Just like my friend, you should do this. It's when somebody else sees something and you're like, oh, okay, why not? I'm not sure I answered your question, but
No, you did. You did. So how did you like what was the catalyst? Why did you just say, okay, I'm gonna write a book? This is it. I'm done talking about it. Now I'm going to do it.
I will be honest, you had your do the thing retreat, and I saw that, and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to
Yep.
do the thing that's been sitting on my to do list for the whole year. And that was, I think I saw something in September, October when you were advertising it. And I was like, sign me up. I'm there.
And so here's what happened. And I promised you this. Remember, you walked in and I'm like, you're leaving with a manuscript. And you're like, you should
Yeah,
have
I
seen the
didn't
look on your
believe you.
face. You're like, what? Yep, you are leaving. And this was a day and a half, maybe?
Mhm. Yep. But it was awesome because you walked me through the whole thing. You took something that felt very unattainable for me at the time and made it very doable and helped me break it off into small pieces and helped me with all the head stuff. I mean, this is what you do. You're good at it. But it went from being something I did when how am I going to do this to here you go. It's done.
And this was interesting because there were several moments where you were like a deer in the headlights, just
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But
right.
you walked me through it and talked me through it. And it was that whole retreat was super helpful. And you gave me manageable, doable task isn't the right word, but action items that I could then do on my own.
Yeah, I think, you're so overwhelmed and you make such a big deal out of this thing. It could be, I'm going to speak, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to leave my, whatever. And then you have this objective person that says, I get it. I understand this. I'm going to help you stay on track. And by the way, the thing about what we did was you left with a plan because I knew that if you did not leave with a plan,
Yes.
it wouldn't be published right now. It wouldn't, you'd still be working on it, but
Absolutely. You are so right, because I had deadlines and I knew I had to turn certain things in and I knew I had to get certain things done. And I'm very much if you tell me this needs to happen, I mean, look, I'm an old event planner. And so I used to do timelines and checklists. And once I pay for something, I'm like, I'm doing this. And so having that was essential because, as you know, I could still be editing and the book would not be published, but I made a promise, an agreement that it was going to be done by X date and uploaded. Because here's the thing, I think some of us are perfectionists and there's always something to be changed, updated, better. And that perfectionism can kill you. I mean, it can be your undoing. And so I sent it and I uploaded it. And now I have this fabulous book.
so I'm so glad you do. And it's fantastic. And we're going to talk more about it in a second. So I actually did a podcast episode about this. Perfection, is it perfectionism or is it procrastination?
Right.
So or a little bit of both. What I find is we will give ourselves a million excuses, and
Yes.
it could be anything. I myself just re-signed up with my business coach because I have some big things that I want to do. And it's interesting, less than 3 hours after I contacted her, I got my lists going. I have this going. I am so motivated to do it because A, I'm investing in it. Now there's money on the
Right.
line.
Right.
And B, I'm like, yep, she can help me do this. She can help me do this. And I'm going to be really embarrassed if I show up and I'm not ready for the call. Like, you
Right.
can't cancel the call.
Yes.
You can't call, you still pay for it. So it's all these little excuses that we give ourselves.
Absolutely. And having someone to keep you accountable is worth it. It's like
Yeah. And in your
priceless.
corner, someone in your corner, like, I believe in you.
Right.
Like, I knew you could do it.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. So tell us about the day the book went live. What was that like for you? What did it feel like?
Oh, it was actually really amazing and terrifying. I think I shared. So one, it was amazing. I got flowers, I got note cards, I got text messages, I got emails. It was fantastic to see how surrounded I was by friends, family, colleagues, support. But it was also a little terrifying. And I shared this with you. A girlfriend called me and she said, congrats. And I'm like, oh, I tried to make it like it was nothing, not a big deal. But the reality was, if I wasn't, and I caught myself while I was saying, if I pretend like it's not a big deal, then I don't have to be invested in the outcome. Like, what if it fails? What if no one likes it? All of those things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the win and I'm going to be proud of myself and I'm going to celebrate it because it is pretty fantastic.
So if somebody says to you now, oh my God, I can't believe you wrote a book, what do you say?
It's super exciting. It's awesome.
Yep. Yes, I did. I did indeed.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I
Yep.
did. Yes.
Mm.
I'm going to choose to be excited instead of afraid.
I love it. Well, we're always still afraid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's one thing you would do differently in this process?
One thing I would do differently.
Mhm.
You know what? I don't think I would have done any of it differently. I guess my first thought is to say to give myself more time, but really I didn't need more time. I just needed to do it. And so I might have planned my marketing on the back end or on the front. I don't know what end that is, like what my
Mhm.
plan is, but really I can still do that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I can't worry about all the things. So I'm going to say I would do it all again.
What I have said is I would have done it sooner. I would have done
Oh,
it. Yeah.
oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. And part of that is believing in myself enough to think that I could do it. But I know that it happened because I met you and you offered the retreat. And, things happen for a reason
Mhm.
at the time they're supposed to happen. So this is when it's supposed to be.
Even when you don't believe in yourself, doing it anyway.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely. Which is part of what I did.
right. Right.
You said you're going to walk out of here with a book. And I was like, Okay, whatever. Like, how is that going to happen? And yet I did. I left the retreat with my book pretty much done, and it needed a few tweaks, and I had to send it to an editor. But aside from that, the bulk of it was done.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so what else? What else can we talk about? Did we not talk about something you want to talk about?
No, I think we talked about. Oh,
Before we go,
yeah.
tell us about your one-on-one coaching and also your public speaking. So if somebody's listening to this and they're saying, "Oh my God, I have to have Elisa come talk to my group," well, how do they find you? What do you offer? All that stuff.
So I do presentations that talk about what we talked about today, how showing up authentically on brand and with confidence can really be a game changer in your business.
Mhm.
And really, it's about taking a subject that I think most people find stuffy or they don't even know where to start and making it manageable and seeing why it's important. And I also work one on one with individuals who either need to clean out their closet, transform their look, or are just needing a little help because they have a business trip or a gala or a speaking event, whatever that looks like. I can help.
So let's say you're listening to this podcast and you have something coming up and you say, you know what? I need Elisa's help. Do you do one-offs or yeah.
Yes, I just
Okay.
we meet so I can chat and say, okay, where are you going? What are the brands you normally wear? What size are you? What's your budget? You know, how soon do you need it? In fact, I'm meeting with someone after this call. She's going to two wedding gala type events and she needs two dresses and she doesn't even know where to start because that's not her normal jam. So
Yeah.
we're going to figure it all out on the call and then we'll figure out what works for her.
And then she gets this lookbook. So this is interesting. I didn't even tell you this. So I have a couple of weddings coming up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to, I know what I want. So it's just a matter of finding it. Actually, it's the Halston Orib flower dress, but we can talk about that later. Anyway,
Oh,
it's so beautiful, but it's sold out everywhere. Anyway, so I was on one of the apps. It was probably Nordstrom. One of them says, would you like a style assistant for free to help you on the app? I'm like, I'm going to try to see what happens. So I fill everything out. They ask me a couple questions and they said, like 2 days later, they said, all of your stuff is ready for you to look at. And it was every black long dress in their inventory, every gold long and every pink long dress in there. I'm like, well, I could have done that. So if you're listening and you think you can use these apps that they, or
right.
the websites, it's not going to save you time. It's not.
In the end, it really doesn't.
No. No. All right. What else? What's coming up? What's exciting? You're going on vacation.
I'm going on vacation and I'm hitting the ground running in March when I get back. I'm speaking and going to start promoting the book, doing more podcasts.
Right.
I'm super excited about all the things to come this year.
I love it. I love it. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. This is exciting. This is an exciting time to be Elisa Ellis.
Yes.
Where can people find you? I mean, I'm going to link to it if they're listening. Yeah.
Right. Turnkkeystyle.com.
Okay.
And I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram.
Turnkkeystyle.com. Instagram is at
Stylish Curvy Girl.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. With that, Podsters, your brand never sleeps. Your style can be your competitive advantage. Fact. And go find Elisa. Go forth. And until then, peace out, Podsters.
That's a wrap, Podsters. And before we go, I ask you, what's one thing from today's episode that you will use this week to unmute yourself? DM me, email me, send a smoke signal, whatever you need to do. Let me know what you're going to do differently. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone you know and leave a 5-star review on Apple. This helps me spread our message of empowerment to more people worldwide. Let's do this.